Yeah, for sure. And at the moment, they don't really have anything that's going to be able to lock down the Tide Hunter. I mean, when you think Tide, the three things that you want are basically Legion Commander or Disruptor and maybe a Night Stalker, just because you can get on top of him and he can't really run away or cast Ravage super easily unless he gets a BKB. But most likely not going to be a Night Stalker with what they've picked up. I doubt it's going to be a Legion Commander, so maybe we might need to see like a position 4 Disruptor come out here. It can be quite nice against the IO as well, though, right? You relocate, you glimpse one of the targets back, and then you're just a sitting duck.
Yeah, that does sound quite nice. Let's see if Lilgun do want to take it. Because Lilgun known as one of those teams that love to run those cheesy strats, and we're already kind of seeing it here. We'll see if they do go down that Disruptor route now. Here for Lilgun, as they are going to dive into that reserve time. And I know you've been watching... Go on.
Sorry to interrupt. I was just having a look at the bans, and I wonder how much of this Polaris is like, all right, what do Lilgun think about this draft, right? Because in almost every single series, teams get rid of Lycan and Brood, and they didn't get rid of either. So maybe they're just saying, okay, what is the actual highest priority for them? Clearly, they feel like it's the Brood Mother.
That is fair. And the Lycan is still available as well if Lilgun really want to take it. I guess it would oh, hold on a minute. There's a Hoodwink to fly out. Now, I am a Hoodwink spammer, Danog. I personally think this hero is still complete garbage right now. But what do you think? What do you think?
I was talking about it with Ares yesterday. I'm a sucker for value points in a lot of abilities. You know, Enfeeble on the Bane, but Hoodwink now... The Scurry, it's really good just with 1 point into it, right? 15% evasion, and I feel like considering a lot of your kit can be removed by a simple Quelling Blade, which is now even cheaper, by the way, it might be worth putting that 1 point into the Scurry either at level 2 or level 4.
Right. That's fair. I mean, do you think they go down that route, though? Like level 2 Scurry? I guess you could if you feel like you can be a bit more lane dominant with it. Low base damage on the Hoodwink, though, kind of makes it so maybe you don't want to right-click. I'm not sure about it, then. I want this hero to be good, trust me. But I don't know if that change to Scurry is good enough for me, personally. I suppose Lilgun's about to show us exactly what it does do.
Maybe they were just feeling like they needed a break against the Tide Hunter, just so that you don't have to deal with that Kraken Shell quite so much with the Sharpshooter. And, I mean, not wanting to wait until Tiny has the Silver Edge to be able to do so. I can kind of understand it, but it's similar sort of thing with like the Wyvern, right? You're playing as an IO. Most of the time you might get multiple units that are clumped up together, so you get extra value out of the Bushwhack. Hell, even with a Tusk save, right? Similar to sort of the Jakiro thing. You just lay down an ice path wherever the snowball is going to end. Well, wherever the snowball is going to end, you just Bushwhack.
Yeah, that's fair. It could be very effective here against Polaris Esports. See, though, Polaris, they do have one more pick to go, and it does seem like they need someone in the mid lane, unless they're going to throw the Leshrac mid and maybe just go for a safe lane carry, which is also fair. They do like to mix it up here on Polaris, so I wouldn't be surprised either way with the flexibility of the Lesh. Though I suppose recently Lelouch has been playing Leshrac every single time, so maybe not so much flexibility. We'll see soon.
I saw Natsumi play a little bit of Nature's Prophet as well. I feel like that's not horrible this game, but Winter Wyvern is pretty good at dealing with any kind of like mass unit push, just because you've got that Splinter Blast. You could stay in relative safety behind the trees, very good cast range onto it, so might not opt to go down that path, but it's still very strong, especially considering you've got a Tusk, you've got a Leshrac, strong kill potential, especially if you've got that +1 through a Nature's Prophet.
Yeah. We'll see if they do go down that route. I mean, Natsumi was having a hell of a time yesterday. He's just destroying people with that Prophet. But Polaris, though, in general, just destroying everyone last night. I mean, 4-0 was the scoreboard for Polaris, so actually a team up and coming in Div 1 now, coming from Div 2, looking very, very powerful going to Div 1.
Didn't they beat Neon in like 18 minutes in one of those games?
Yeah, they did, Danog. Yeah, they did.
Just checking.
Yeah. They go for the Shadow Demon. Yeah, what's happening?
Mid Tide Hunter? Like, assuming they might be thinking it's a mid Brood, but it's 11 that normally plays the Brood for Lilgun.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they want... Well, Tide Hunter's not even that important to go up into the Brood early on, right? Like, you just need to make sure you rotate to wherever the Brood's planted herself. and then just Anchor Smash to be able to deal with all of the spiders. I do love the fact, by the way, that the spiders no longer deal the damage over time. That is nice, especially as a Wyvern spammer. Previously, you would die just with 5 million spiders hitting onto you, but now not anymore. Cold Embrace is actually quite good against it, so they're going to have 4-2-3 play in the Broodmother this time. Sanctity on the Tiny, and
it's carry IO.
Okay.
Anna,
is that you, Smurf?
I don't know about this. I mean, carry IO in this patch. I mean, to be fair, it's a brand new patch, so you never know. But I don't think there was any huge changes that made it so carry IO was suddenly a thing again. I know you mentioned the shard change, which is quite nice with the Leshrac, but I don't know, can you see something here, Danog? What makes this IO a carry all of a sudden?
Put me on the spot here, Mike. I mean, with the Tusk, I suppose it's nice in lane to have the extra movement speed, maybe to get some good tag teams off and try and bully him out. But maybe they just realize that, okay, if you're playing an IO as a support, you really do want to get either the mechanism or a Holy Locket, and you don't have the gold to be able to go into that Aghanim Shard. So maybe they're just going to be playing all around this early-ish timing, get Natsumi a good amount of farm, get him that Aghanim Shard, pair it together with the Leshrac, and make the Lesh near unkillable.
Should be interesting. I can't wait to see how this works out. Again, Polaris, they went undefeated yesterday. See if they can continue that streak going into this matchup today. Lilgun, not such an easy team, though, to go against, but I mean, to be fair, they did beat T1 2-0 yesterday, so it's probably one of the hardest teams you could go up against. As we are going to head right into a pause, as is SCA tradition. I never got to ask you while we're here, Danog. Did you favor one draft or the other? Do you have a prediction for this game one?
I mean, it's really hard to go past a Lilgun Broodmother. It feels like the Wyvern's a nice response to it. I'm not as bullish, like you with the Hoodwink. So, but pause one IO. I don't think that there's anything that's changed that much about it to make it really good. As you can see there with the Aghanim Shard, the Overcharge now, Spell Amp, Lifesteal for both him and the target that he's tethered together with. It's going to be really strong if that is the way that they look to build this, but I don't think it's going to be strong enough, so I'm going to go with Lilgun. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I guess it's hard for me to doubt Polaris, so I guess I'll go the other way just for a bit of fun. Mm-hmm. I do doubt the carry IO though. I'm going to say it right now. I do. Oh, you know what? Look at that item build though, Danog. He's going for the Helm of the Dominator into the Overlord. Okay, so what neutral creep do you think he's hunting for with all of this? Like, what is going to be the busted creep? Because we saw Lilgun actually yesterday playing it, and I think they were having a little bit fun. They were dominating the team that they were playing against, and they used their Helm of the Overlord to take over one of the small kobolds just for that 20 GPM aura. They took over a Harpy Scout, even though it was just flying around, not doing any damage. So I wonder what they're going to be looking to go for. Is it one of these new Ice Shamans? I haven't seen that one be dominated by the Helm of the Overlord just yet. That's what I'm trying to figure out now. Like, what creep is stupidly high value here? The ice ones are like, you do building damage, they throw out a bomb or something, and it does like 400 damage over time to heroes, I believe. So, but 25% to buildings? I guess we'll wait and see. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen here with Natsumi, but we're very excited to watch what this creative player's got in his mind. As it looks like they might fight a little bit here, 4-2-3. Or rather, Xavier's going to try and go on to Ace 12, but he's just going to walk away. Get a bit of damage back onto Xavius. Force the disruption out. I suppose we should start with the mid lane as well, Dan. You've got 4-2-3 there on that mid brood, and he is indeed going to be against Lelouch on the Leshrac. So they don't actually end up throwing the Tide mid. Instead, they will still have the Leshrac mid. It does feel like 4-2-3 should have a decent start with this matchup, I'd say. Yeah, I think it's going to be fine enough. The thing is, as well, I'm a little surprised that they didn't look to block up the small camp next to Lelouch on Lilgun, just because it's very important. Obviously, you want to be spamming out the lane, you're going to be pushing in, you want to use the Lightning Storm on that, and then go back and try and get that little bit of extra farm, because maybe not so much with the Leshrac, but a lot of the times, as soon as Brood hits level 6, you just can't stay in the lane anymore, unless you're something like a Tide Hunter. So maybe they're just banking on Lelouch having a very strong game. He is, of course, a very high-skilled, high-ranked player. So maybe he can get his level 6 earlier and start to put the pressure on 4-2-3 instead.
Okay. Of course, top lane, you've got Ace 12 and Sanctity there against Force and Xavius. We were talking about this Pos 1 Tiny quite a lot, and I still believe Force should have a decent time here, but looks like Sanctity is doing just fine so far. In fact, now they will move in. Xavius, though, going to be there with the disruption to intercept Ace 12 and make sure he can't get too much damage. Danog, this lane, does it go either way? Like, which team is really favored in this top lane?
I don't really think there's too much kill threat on the top side at all. I mean, with a Wyvern, probably one of the weakest right clicks in the entire game. That's why, you know, anytime I see a Wyvern trying to trade with basically any hero, I'm just like, well, this isn't going to turn out too well. Maybe if you're standing underneath the tower. They're going for a kill onto Force, though.
Nice toss back, but Force does have that level 1 Kraken shell, so the damage just is not going to be there. Certainly feels like they are setting up for the kill attempt very soon, though, onto Force, but does seem like Xavius will have a salve available for the Tide, so he should be just fine. Oh, we still do have a chance. Oh, I almost thought they got that salve cancelled. In fact, hold that thought, because they do have the salve cancelled. Very nice.
Sanctity.
Very nice indeed. Xavius, very far forward, may get punished, though he does go for disruption, but it looks like they've got the damage. Ace 12 able to secure first blood here for the side of Lilgun.
Very nice. I mean, the thing is, like, as soon as the Shadow Demon had, for whatever reason, went the disruption level 1 and used it onto the Wyvern, I was like, well, they're going to feel very confident about trying to put a lot of pressure on, right? Because no Shadow Poison means that you're very easily able to get the better end of a lot of these trades. It's still got quite a long cooldown at level 1, 29 seconds. And it didn't enable you to go for any kind of stacks until now. Now that Xavius has respawned, so at least he's going to start building those up. But it does feel like you kind of just gave him a window for not the strongest kill lane that Lilgun have to get that first blood.
Yeah, absolutely. We should have a look at the final lane, though. Bot lane 11 and Kishka going to be against Mavis and Natsumi. And this is the lane I think we question the most, especially with this IO, as they are going to try and move in a little bit with the shards, but an immediate spear out by 11. So it does seem like Natsumi's not too threatened on this IO, though. Like, no real pressure being applied. It's just freely farming up so far. Is there a point, do you think, where one of these teams has a big power spike in this bot lane, Dan?
Oh, not really, to be perfectly real. I mean, the Tuscan IO isn't really the strongest kill threat, right? Like, there's nothing that's going to be slowing them down. You don't have Orb of Venom on Mavis, so it's not like you can even catch out this Hoodwink. And Kishka, he doesn't even have that level 4 yet, so he still has the option to go for the Scurry to potentially go for kills like he is right now on Mavis.
He's going to try. Still has the Acorn shot, but is waiting the Bushwhack out and is not going to bother throwing either. So Mavis going to walk away with his life intact and is going to salve up and reset. So Kishka certainly has a lot of kill threat now with that level 2 Bushwhack. Especially if you do have 11 around on that Mars, but you've got to catch someone out first. Natsumi is going to get caught out bot lane on that IO, and Force top lane is also in trouble. Force is still going to try and fight back, however, but no. They have the Splinter Blast, and that's going to be more than enough from Ace 12 as Xavius is still trying to stack up those poisons onto Sanctity. But it does seem like he is set to fall, as Ace 12 will continue chasing him down, and that's going to be another kill to go the way of Lilgun. Danog, that was 3 kills across the map.
Yeah, pretty deadly, this Lilgun lineup. You know, you give them the comfort, and you're going to get punished every single time. Now, we've seen a couple of times, I suppose, where they've gone literally like Tusker, Brood, and a Lycan in the same game, and that didn't work out too well for them. But I feel like if you give them just this comfort, they're able to solidify their draft around the Brood Mother. Tiny, incredibly strong right now, like you're saying, with John really being a huge fan of that 15-minute Aghanim shard. Of course, but Mars got buffed. Why did Mars need to get buffed? It felt like it was strong already.
That and Bane. I mean, I'm not going to complain, Danog, but Bane got a bit of an enfeeble buff, which I was very happy about. I just don't know why. Baffled as to why that. And how did Kunkka not get nerfed at all? Like, oh man, I had high hopes for this patch. I was like, there's going to be big changes happening, but it just feels like a lot of the same. Yeah, it certainly does. At least for now, as Mavis bot lane does go down. That's going to be the 5th kill now for Lilgun. And Polaris Esports still yet to pick up 1. I think the only lane that's really gone smoothly here for Polaris Esports is Lelouch's lane in the mid lane. But that's about it, and I say smoothly, but it is a very even affair between him and the 423. And now the 423 is level 6, he's just going to farm the jungle. So it does kind of feel like nothing's gone right for the Radiant side.
Yeah, gotta make sure you're not giving away too many of these fighters. You just micro them straight on into that mid lane. But Lelouch's got a decent amount of jungle camps to farm. He's obviously got the speed to be able to, push this wave in quite quickly so that he can kind of do what a Broodmother wants to be doing in, taking the lane, then taking the jungle. Leshrac probably one of the best heroes at being able to mirror that sort of gameplay.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
423. Almost finding a kill there onto the Shadow Demons. Top lane, Force could be in trouble as the tossback is there, but no! Kishka was looking for the bushwhack, but the toss got him out of range of the tree. So Force is actually going to be able to walk away with no real punishment. Rotations up from Lilgun, but they amount to nothing at the top lane.
I still don't even know if he dies though, right? Like, even if you get the bushwhack off, it's just level 2. You've got the Kraken shell, so it might have broken out of it anyway.
Yeah. But you don't have the sharpshooter to get that break off, so chances are he probably would have survived anyway. So interesting rotations from Lilgun, just not working out right now, but it's still a 1-5 with a 1k net worth advantage. Polaris, though, not really panicking.
He's getting real lucky, Lelouch, though. I mean, the 6-minute rune was an arcane rune. He picked up a fairy's trinket. So he's being enabled quite heavily with a lot of this. And might be able to scout out one of these stacks that's starting to build up here as Ace 12 sees what he's doing.
So he does.
He's going to be able to stop it, though.
He will go for those, but bot lane, there's a bit of action breaking out as... Oh, never mind. 11, he is going to be able to get away back towards the top lane. Ace 12 is about to drop, but Lelouch, not able to finish the job, is going to go back to the fountain for a reset. Just completely ran out of mana there, so couldn't finish off the Wyvern. But he does get away with the stacks, which I suppose is all that matters right now for the left.
Yeah, I mean, you know that, again, this Broodmother is going to want to be playing aggressively. And, I mean, Tidehunter got away with his life previously, but he's not having the most amazing game. So it's not like you could just put yourself in place there and start to use the anchor smash to negate a lot of this pushing potential. It needs to be the Lesh that comes on.
Ravage.
Actually, Ravage.
Yeah, mid lane, they're going to go onto that Broodmother. Do they have enough damage, though? He's going to try and fight back, but it's not going to be enough. Lelouch had plenty, and with that, they'll go right into that T1 mid tower, and that seems very detrimental for Lilgun, that they are going to try and defend. Try to delay this as much as possible, as 11's going to show up now on the Mars, but he doesn't have the arena up. Still a nice speed to land on the tree, but it's still a Tidehunter. Chances are he is not going down.
Very nice movement coming through there, just popping the Ravage, no hesitation. Good follow-up coming through from Lelouch. And speaking of stacks, they're really starting to build this one up here inside the Radiant Triangle. So that's just more and more money going over to Lelouch.
It certainly is. I keep wondering exactly what creep Natsumi wants with this Helm of the Dominator. Seeing all these Ancients, that is. But he hasn't gone for the Helm of the Overlord yet. He is going back into the Aghanim Scepter. So still pretty standard IO build-up. Nothing interesting happening quite yet for Natsumi.
They changed the spirits a little bit, so they gave it a little bit of a slow when you got the Aghanim Scepter, 15% for 0.3 seconds each time the spirit collides, which not too bad.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. Natsumi will just use the spirits now to just keep farming up. I must admit, I do appreciate the changes to the creeps like the Hellbear Smasher. Like I love the fact that it gives that aura when it does die now, and you get 50% more damage. Not that I think they're going to be able to make use of it on Polaris, but I think it is a very nice change.
Yeah, I mean, you always want creeps to give a good amount of little value, and it's always nice to see the red ogres. You know, they feel like a lot of the forgotten creeps in Dota these days, but now they'll just club you in the face.
Yeah, mid lane Kishka going to try and club Mavis and Force in the face as they are going to go for the ulti. It won't land, but Mavis, he's going to be there with the arena. So 11 does secure one kill as Force, is still trying to make his own way up. And is going to be okay for now, but Sanctity is trying to move in with the Avalanche toss. But he's going to be banished here by Xavius, and now they might try to turn. Ravage is 15 seconds away. They have bought plenty of time here, but they will not be able to lock down Lilgun. Lilgun will be just fine. Are they going to stick around, though? I mean, Ravage is up in a few seconds, and you do have a lot of Polaris around here.
Ravage is up in a few seconds, and more importantly, Ace 12 doesn't have mana for the Winter's Curse. He's got plenty of money, so he's going to send the courier to the side shop. He's going to be able to pick up that Arcane Boots and maybe try and go for a little bit of a counterplay here as Polaris looking to take the mid tower. It's ridiculously low, 54 HP remaining.
Certainly very, very tasty here for Polaris Esports as Force. Enemy pins it in. 4-2-3 is going to move in. They'll have the ulti once again, this time to land from Kishka. And with that, with the break available from that sharpshooter, it's very easy to take down the Tide. As Lilgun will move into the opposing T1 tower now. And it is a Broodmother after all, so this is not going to take much time to get done. And they'll get it. Surprisingly enough, Lilgun are the ones to get the first T1 mid tower.
Yeah, all it takes is taking away a big part of that team fight control. I'm always harping on about you need something to anchor a team fight, and you know, for Lilgun it's the Mars, for Polaris it's the Tide Hunter. If either of those are removed from the equation, you could very easily disengage, and there's not too much that the enemy team can do about it.
Force. He's going to move into 11, but only a bit of gush damage coming in. It's Polaris Esports, they are looping around. Kishka will break the smoke, but 4-2-3, he's trying to move in with that Orca timing. Snowball there as well. Arena is kind of off the mark. Mavis, he's fine, as 4-2-3's the one in trouble, but a great curse out. Ace 12 has scored 3 targets with that, and they are deleting Lelouch with the sharpshooter to finish him off. Do they keep going? It does seem like they will. They'll find Mavis on the tusk, and that should be another for Lilgun. They are really starting to clean up Polaris Esports. Maybe even more.
TP available on the IO if you really did want to use it. Going for a kill here onto Force. I don't know if he could do it just yet though. Sharpshooter's not up for another 10 seconds.
Certainly isn't. I'll get the bushwhack off into the spear, but that'll just hold him down. So just make sure he can't Ravage to set up another team fight here for Polaris. And instead, Lilgun, they'll rotate back into the mid lane, where they will spot out Lelouch. But they might just kind of calm down a little bit, just wait out those cooldowns and their skills first before they move in again. In fact, hold that thought, because, well, Force, he could be in trouble again. They do have that sharpshooter available, so 4-2-3 is going to move in. They've got the Arctic Burn to slow him down, Force. He is going to get bushwhacked up into the sharpshooter. He has the Ravage, but the silence is there from 4-2-3, and he never gets it off.
I feel like these two games, they're so closely matched that just the tiniest decisions are going to have a huge snowball effect. In that previous fight, Shadow Demon used the Demonic Purge onto the Broodmother while she was next to essentially 3 other Polaris heroes, but for whatever reason, Force just didn't Ravage. And so Broodmother was able to walk away, and they killed the Tide Hunter before he's even did, like, he's had this up for the good 3 minutes now and hasn't used it.
Certainly hasn't. Onto the Wyvern now, Ace 12. Has been spotted, but yeah, he's got the curse available. They're going to try and burst him down beforehand, though, and they will be able to. So he didn't find the angle in that cold embrace. It'll be the Wyvern to drop, and that might be Lilgun retreating now and giving a bit more space over to Polaris Esports. So you look at Sanctity on this tiny Danog, and he's about 30 seconds away from having that shards up. And his farm should start to really escalate right after that.
To get the 850 gold to be able to do so, but I'm sure they're going to be prioritizing making sure he's able to pick that one up for himself.
Just keep farming it up.
Yeah, yep, the Blitz Knuckles. It's about the same sort of timing that I saw in the previous game that I was watching that Tiny's went this. I think it's the second most picked hero right now after the Primal Beast, at least at the pro level.
Very, very powerful, that's for sure. I suppose Natsumi is still farming very well here on this IO, but I still have my doubts. Like, even once the axe comes up, I just doubt what it can do right now. I suppose we have to wait and see. Wait for that level 15 talent as well to get that bonus damage. However, bot side of the map, looks like there is a bit of a chase as Force is going to try and catch up 4-2-3 and Kishka. Again, he won't throw out the Ravage. He'll hold on, wait for Lilgun to come to them, and maybe set up that way. Just not catching anything here, the Radiant. Do you think maybe they're just being very patient because they're just waiting for the Ags up on Natsumi and maybe that level 15 talent?
Oh, I mean, potentially. He's going to be able to get a solo kill here, though. I just feel like against a Broodmother, you take every single opportunity to take her down so that you're not like, obviously you're going to have this strong timing with the IO and the Lesh hitting some big item timings, but you can't leave a Broodmother on her own for too long, because she is going to be able to take towers. She's gone for a much more kill-oriented build with the Orchid here, and I actually really like Orchid nowadays for heroes like the Broodmother, just because you don't really need that mana regen all that much. You've got a Soul Ring for that, you got lucky enough to get the Arcane Ring, so all of that attack speed is just going to benefit you so much more.
Radiant's top
That it will
tower is
be.
under attack.
On lane, Lilgun again, posturing aggressively here onto Force.
That is the Axe, I believe, on Natsumi. Yeah.
That it is.
I want to see that shard queued up. I want to see it. I feel like this is a very, very, very good shard when paired together with the Leshrac.
Well, he could be. And speaking of the Leshrac, Danog, Lelouch has been caught in the bushwhack, but he's going to be okay. His Force was TPing in and does scare them off.
All right, speaking of shards, that's the first time I've seen the Shadow Demon one that I like this as well. The Demonic Cleanse, it's a good way. Previously, that was tied to the ultimate if you got the Aghanim shard in the previous patch, so it would mean that you're not able to get the aggressive purge off as well as the defensive one. So now the fact that they've just given it a whole separate ability, it's a big win.
That is a very nice shard. I hadn't even read up on that one yet, so that is pretty damn good, I must admit. I have to pick up the old SD in the pub game soon, as it seems a little bit too powerful in my opinion. Still, 3 to 11, 3k net worth advantage for Lilgun. It does seem like they are going to wait out the level 15 timing from Natsumi before they get going. Lilgun, it seems like they want to keep just applying pressure right now. Must be a little bit intimidating not seeing this IO and just not knowing where he's at. Lelouch again going to be spotted here by 423 Spiders, but they are struggling to make a move in here onto the Leshrac. It does seem like bait, but here they go, they're moving. Sanctity, Bushwhack is out, Force a big Ravage, however, he caught 4 targets, but can they prioritize, or rather just get anything out of this? A big Winter's Curse though, into 5 heroes. Oh boy. Here goes 11, onto the IO, onto Xavius, they'll find even more. 3 to go down, maybe this will be the 4th. Now just a fantastic curse to come out from our Wyvern's Force. He's the final piece of the puzzle, and he will not survive through this either. A full team wipe here from Lilgun. And Ace 12 really saving the day.
They went for the glyph there to try and get that multi-shot onto all their heroes as they dived underneath the tier 2. And, well, you don't want to do that just willy-nilly against a Broodmother and this Tiny, right? He's got the Aghanim shard. He could just keep pushing in onto you.
He may just. And can they go tier 3s? Well, they won't. They'll take it easy. They won't try to rush for it. Don't give the openings back to Polaris, but Lilgun so far looking amazing in this game 1. What a curse that was as well.
Wyvern, Mike.
Yeah.
That's why you do it.
I must admit, I mean, you've got that great potential as a POS 5 to be able to do those kind of things, and see if you can do it again.
You've cracked the code, Mike. That is why I play Wyvern, because I feel like POS 5 is my best position. I've got good map awareness, but I'm a boomer, so no clicky button fast anymore. But it's one of those heroes that you feel like you could just win the game from POS 5 potentially.
Lelouch. Split Earth not going to connect on Kishka. He'll be fine. Mavis.
Gotta give props to Sanctity in that one as well, right? Like he tossed the 5th hero into that Winter's Curse. Oh, they're gonna go on the Lash.
Yeah, they are. Arena down, spear right through the Leshrac. Lelouch already going down. Sanctity just deleting Mavis as well. And they go for more. Polaris don't seem to know what to do, and a great bushwhack out from Kishka to boot, catching out 2 targets. They'd love an IO for their trouble, but Natsumi, he is going to relocate out. He'll be just fine. But Lilgun are just giving no opening so far. And I think it might be about time to go Roshan very soon here if you're Lilgun.
Potentially, but if they could take another one of those successful team fights, it might even be that high ground time, right? Like, you don't really care about a glyph because they just used it previously, and you've got a Broodmother and a Tiny. So you get the window to do it. Why not just go high ground? Not too much to be scared about right now.
11. He had jumped on. Bushwhack will be there on Natsumi. Snowball from Mavis, but that's going to land on Nada. Still, Kishka is caught in the shards, but a nice sharpshooter will get him out of those shards immediately. In fact, Kishka going to turn again with the Bushwhack, but only catches one this time. So we're just buying so much time here with this hoodwink. As Ace 12 does rotate just in case they needed it. They are going to be able to escape. Look at all these spiders down. My God, they're just all over the place.
I mean, it looks like my backyard.
Lelouch. I don't want you complaining about insects right now, Danog. I'm casting from a shed, sir. I assure you I've got it worse.
That is true.
Mavis gonna get caught. Snowball is gonna be towards the spiders though, so a nice little trick there from Mavis, but 423 is naturally in control of those spiders, so he's gonna be coming right back, and it looks like they are gonna go back into the Roshan now.
Don't hate it. Oh man, they're just gonna have so much burst damage with this Hoodwink even building into the Aghanim Scepter. Such a great game for it. Just considering a lot of the burst potential that you've got, why not combine it together? I was about to say, like, you saw today the announcement with Talon.
Yeah.
Trey Savage joining Q as well as the rest of the remaining squad members, and made sure to comment on that tweet saying, "God damn, Southeast Asia has the best tier 2 seed in the world," because it's really hard to pick which two are going to be able to go up for the next season's DPC, right? Like, you've got Lilgun, you've got Polaris, you've got Talon, you've got Orca. Very, very strong. TNC, Motivate, potentially. You've got some really strong teams there.
It is pretty lit. It is really lit in Div 2. Bushwhack though, Kishka gonna hold on to the Lesh, and now the curse is out. They'll hold him down, Force. He'll be there with the Ravage though, trying to turn this one back. As Ace 12's in trouble. He gets the Cold Embrace off in time. They do burst him down as now Sanctity comes in, and look at the cleave damage out. Lelouch is gonna get Sharpshooter down by Kishka, and they're onto the Tide. It's looking real bad here for Polaris Esports, as they cannot deal with this Tiny. They just can't. It's too much damage.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Not ridiculously low there with the Soul Catcher, but he would have still had the Aegis to be able to back out of that one. Doesn't quite have the Blink Dagger just yet, so you could feel that he wants to go for the little pick-off, but no, let the tree do the work.
Yeah, they'll even find Mavis in 11, not really connecting the spear timing, but it won't matter. They still get the kill, and he still gets out with his life intact. So if I'm looking back at this IO, Danog, I'm having my doubts. I just don't know what it does yet. We saw Natsumi, he does plenty of damage in the team fights with these spirits, but the problem is the rest of his team just can't survive for him to get out enough damage.
Maybe now it'll be different though, right? Because he's got his level 15, level 16 actually, with that relocate up towards the top side. And he's got his Aghanim Shard. So I feel like if he pairs that together with a Lesh Rack, and you get the Demonic Cleanse in onto the Lesh as well, you've got a solid potential to be able to live through a lot of these early parts of the engagements. Again, it's all about the burst that you need to live through.
Very hard to do that though, isn't it? As Lelouch gonna show up. Kishka looking for a Bushwhack again, is gonna be able to land one, and Sanctity's in. It's one of those games where you can't show in the mid lane like that, not even as the Lesh. As Sanctity now moving in onto the IO, they'll be forced to snowball up, and they might be able to get this Aegis down, but no, they don't even get that. 4-2-3. He'll move back out. They do finally get the Aegis off the Tiny. Can they find more though, as Ace 12 gets a great curse off onto the IO now. They might be able to reinitiate, though Force will jump in, but they've already lost Natsumi. They have already lost him. And they might just go high ground again. The Sharpshooter is right on target here from Kishka onto Xavius, and they're even going to find Force in the arena. They want more. Natsumi, though, he'll buy back. They'll try to trade something here with Sanctity, but they are just getting shredded. Mavis is already down on this task. He'll buy back to boot. They are still trying, but 11, he's going to push back the IO. This could be a dieback. His disruption is there. Natsumi, he's still alive as the Ravage is out by Force, just in the nick of time, killing off Sanctity and killing off 11. They'll even find 4-2-3, and this might be the turning point now for Polaris Esports.
Oh, Ace, he's even going to get relocated in onto the backside, so Natsumi able to clean that one as well. But it's perhaps a little bit too deep of a dive, but it went from, what, a 20k net worth lead to a 14k net worth lead. So Lilgun, I feel like maybe just get a little bit too big for their boots right now. It will result in them losing that tier 1 tower, though. Maybe even more, considering there is that double damage towards the bottom side of the map.
Question is who can use the double damage with this draft.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Well, Lelouch, at least he does have that Diabolic Edict, so it doesn't really need it anyway.
Has fallen.
I'll just pick it up for the sake of it. Why the hell not? I mean, Lilgun, like you mentioned, it probably shouldn't be going that far into the base. No Rax is down yet, no tier 3's down yet, just getting a little bit too excited, trying to finish off the game. You know, a couple more of those team fights go the way of Polaris, and we might really just have a comeback on our hands. It's a lot of gold to swing back the way of the Dire, or rather the Radiant. And Natsumi's getting close to the point where he's going to have a BKB up, and that may mean you can't control him and just burst him down every team fight anymore.
Absolutely. And I'm also just thinking as well, he was level 16 going into that fight. He's level 19 and a half now. So as soon as you get to level 20, he's probably going to go for the maximum HP overcharge regen bonus. Once you get a lot more of those items like the BKB, wouldn't surprise me to see him go a heart or perhaps a Sanjay Kaya afterwards. He'll be healing for a lot, not just himself, but the Leshrac as well.
Something they desperately need is that healing. That is if they can survive the initial onslaught of damage from Sanctity. But assuming that happens, then yeah, healing will be fantastic from this IO. We'll have to wait and see. Seems like Lilgun aren't going to try and go high ground again quite yet. Maybe just waiting for the next Roshan now, as you see that last team fight will be fresh in the memories of Lilgun.
He's essentially got his BKB though now, so they're not without a chance right now. I know it feels like I'm huffing copium right now, Mike, but it's a distinct possibility.
See if they can do it. There's a 4-man smoke here from Lilgun, so they're looking to try and get aggressive. Looks like they're actually just chasing the dominated creep right now.
Not the kobold, not Cup Guy.
They're not going to be able to catch him. Instead, they'll go after the outpost, but the pings were out. They actually wanted the damn dominated creep of all things. Still, they won't get it. And Polaris, they have grouped up. Potentially a smoke to come. Or maybe not. Maybe just a high ground defense to come. Mavis is holding two smokes.
I want to see the first team to, you know, be up against this Lycan or Beastmaster or Chen or whoever's going to go this helm with the Overlord and just pick a Night Stalker, right? And then get that level 15, minute 15 Aghanim shard and then just make the timing completely worthless. I want to see that happen just to see the morale deflate out of the team that goes this horrible rat build.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it myself. Personally, Danog, I think they should just bring back Necrobook. I don't know why we're wasting our time with Helm of the Overlord.
Oh, get it out. None of that.
Still a little gun, they'll control the
Purge as well. If it was too much. It did way too much, man. Give me a chance to get away as a support, you know?
I mean, I guess so. I don't know. I feel like I want Necrobook back, Danog. I don't know. There's so many broken things in this game. I don't see why Necrobook was the most broken in Valve's eyes, but apparently it was at one stage. Removing it from the game.
I'm happy that it was. I'm happy that it was. Yeah, the one thing that I really want to be back in Dota is viable level 1 Roche. I feel like it just adds a nice little flavor to the game. And if you're getting level 1 Roche and complaining about it, well, you should realize that you're up against a level 1 Roche lineup.
Sumi. He's going to BKB up. That'll be his first charge expended. Just to be able to get away from Lilgun. No, I agree with your sentiment as well. I mean, level 1 Roche is fun. Another point I've been making a lot of as well, Danog, is I think late game Roshan should be like a lot hard. Like actually scary to go up against. Like it has kill threat. So I think just saying to your team, when do we go Roshan rather than can we go Roshan just bothers me a little bit.
Yeah. What if each time he respawned, he got a new ability?
That'd be amazing.
Like that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be amazing. Random abilities? Like the whole hero pool abilities?
Yeah, love it.
Alright.
Imagine if you got, I don't know, Winter's Curse. It's just curses you when you try and go in for it.
That would actually be amazing. I'm not gonna lie. I would like to see that change come in. Like we don't even need a second Roshan. Just make the first one a bit scarier, I think, and that should do the trick.
And just watching those spiders spread out across the map is just... It's so obnoxious, Mike. Like, just seeing everything covered in a certain area. You just can't walk there. Every single movement is scouted out with this Broodmother.
Yeah, you see the split coming up from 4-2-3 with those spiderlings, and it's actually kind of impressive how fast he does it. Just all the spiderlings just moving out. Actually very realistic as well. If you've ever encountered a spider's nest. Very realistic, let me tell you, Danog.
If you've ever lifted up an old rotten log then you might have come across it.
I had to do that recently, sadly, Danog. Lift up a broken log, because a tree decided to fall down on my internet lines. That wasn't very fun.
Oh, man. What did we do to deserve this fight?
God only knows, Danog. God only knows.
Look at that. They're filtering out in single file from Mother Broodmother. They're just like, all right, my turn.
Big smoke up, though. Polaris Esports going to move in, and Ravage is committed, but it's only onto the Mars. So it is a pretty big pickoff. Roshan, however, is not up for another 25, so they're not really going to be able to capitalize too much off this, and there might be a turnaround. Sanctity's moving in. He wants the Tide. He wants that Tide dead ASAP. The toss-up might just mean enough as he gets pushed back mid-air, and he's gone. Lelouch, he's popped his BKB. He's going to try and fight this one out, but it's not looking amazing. It's 4-2-3. They're going to move in. They've got another support in their hands to boot. Kishka does secure the kill onto Xavius.
There were a couple options there for Ace 12 to get in a curse. Natsumi as well as Lelouch were running very close to each other, but going to be happy enough to be able to take this second Roshan. And I wonder who's going to be the one that ends up picking it up. Mars already has it. Broodmother, I guess.
Oh, the Silken Bowler AoE. Yeah. It is pretty disgusting to have to play against. I'd say that's probably the way to go.
Have you seen much of the Spinner's Snare? It's picked up a whole lot more in Western Europe. I've seen Gladiators play it with Ace a fair amount, and I've always been a big fan of it. The issue is it's a weird process to be able to get to the item, but once you get it, you just completely lock off a certain area. It's so frustrating.
I've actually never seen it. In fact, hold that thought, because Sanctity has been jumped, but the Cold Embrace is going to buy a little bit of time here for him to keep going. In fact, they are going to keep going onto Lelouch, but they've lost the Aegis. Still 4-2-3, could not care as the curse is going to be there, taking down the Leshrac. And now the arena round. 11 scored 2 of them straight off the bat into the double spear on the IO. Natsumi just cannot move. They will buy back and try to punish Lilgun for this team fight. They might at least find themselves a Mars, but even he'll BKB TP out. It just won't be enough in the end. Still a very successful team fight though from Lilgun.
All those buybacks expended. You are very happy to do that. And yeah, it cost you the Aegis, but another fantastic curse coming through from Ace 12. Just setting up perfectly. You can't just blind IO pick into a draft where a Wyvern is available. I feel like IO needs to be in the right sort of lineup these days, especially a core IO, like one that needs to be up in the face. You just leave yourself so many more windows to be caught out there.
There you do. It's Polaris now. 3-man smoke up. 27k net worth behind is the Radiant, but they are still holding on to all their axes. Not one has dropped yet. Nullifier board out now in 4-2-3, so even more control from the Broodmother. Skishka is going to get jumped, but they miss the Gush. The Gush does not even land, and he's fine. He's going to scurry out, and Sanctity's going to move in. They're all grouped up. Ravage is there, but they've already lost Mavis. They are going to try and deal with this Tiny. Sanctity, he's going to try and survive with the Cold Embrace out. It looks like he will make it out as well, as Ace 12 does save the day, and now they can move on to more. Xavius, he'll get cursed here for the side of Lilgun. That'll be more food to go the way of 4-2-3. And that's 2 buybacks, or rather diebacks here from the Radiant. Not great news at all.
Not at all. The thing is, it always is a little bit more difficult to be fighting up into the base when you've got a Leshrac and an IO together, right? Because they've got that fountain regen to be able to go back and just be at full power once again. Doesn't look like they're all that scared though. Sanctity holding hands with Ace 12 here on the top side, and I mean, it's a Tiny with a crazy amount of base damage. 600 damage. Nuts.
It's so hard too, because every time they get close to killing him, he just swipes them with the Echo Saber once, and he's got the Paladin Sword and Satanic, so it's just too much healing that comes through here from Sanctity. On top of the Cold Embrace, it's just too much to deal with for Polaris so far. They'll have a chance to prove us wrong now, as they are going to be all up again very, very soon to try and deal with this Tiny. He will blink away in time though, as the Purge was committed. Very quick reaction from Sanctity, so he can just move right back in. They do land a nice stun. Sanctity trapped up. Arena is there though. 11 gonna try and turn as Lelouch again falling so low. Disruption gonna buy time, but how much? Another great Arena. 11 getting the double off, and Lelouch is gone. Mavis is gone a boot. They'll even find the IO, it seems like, as the curse was there. Spear him back. Xavius, he will drop. Natsumi, he will tether away, but the chase is on. 423 is there with the nullifier. They can't really kill off Natsumi yet, but eventually with Sanctity around mid-air, they will take him out. It might be time to call it, Danog. I don't think Polaris can win this game 1.
Yeah. No. I think as soon as they picked that IO core, perhaps, they weren't able to win. It just feels like you're giving up way too much to Lilgun in terms of their comfort there. And, you know, even though you feel like the Hoodwink isn't the greatest hero, it's able to do it this time around, although... Even though Kishka ended the game 7-1 and 27, wasn't really on the back of him. It was just a fantastic play coming out from Ace 12, as well as Sanctity.
Man, it was a just really fantastic game here from Lilgun. I'm curious, before we do head off to a breakdown, is there anything in particular you want Polaris to change in the next draft or game?
No POS 1 IO, please, and ban out the Broodmother. I mean, if they ban out the Broodmother, Lilgun might just Lycan. But I feel like there are ways to deal with the Lycan that are so much easier than dealing with the Broodmother. Like if they pick up a Mars for themselves, which Force is very capable of doing, then it really hinders the effectiveness of Lycan early on because he doesn't want to buy a BKB. He wants to get that Helm of the Overlord, and you can punish him in that way.
Excellent. All right, well, with that, we are going to head off to a short 10-minute break, and right after that break, we'll be back with Game 2 between Polaris Esports and Lilgun.